Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to replace the battery in an iPhone 6 without having to detach all the leads to the screen. That's up next here on Bud's Odd Jobs. So to assist me in the project of repairing my daughter's iPhone, I decided to use a piece of this plastic composite wood. I've used this wood in another video. I'm using it as trim on my daughter's playhouse. You can find the link to that right up here. This works really nice. It cuts well. It drills real easy. You can use it in any way that you would use regular wood in. If you see on this side, you can see that mark there. That's where I cut. So I kind of narrowed this to about the size of a regular iPhone 6, and I cut the horizontal height a little bit shorter for the width of the board itself, so that the height and the vertical height and the horizontal width would be identical. So I can lay the phone sits in here perfectly. I put some duct tape on the bottom to kind of hold the phone in place. Then when I open the phone up here, I can hold it fast to this vertical part, because you're not to open it any more than 90 degrees or you could damage the cables that connect the screen and the sensitizer and all that. So this should work real well. This will help me actually skip a step, so I don't have to actually remove the screen. And I don't have to worry about damaging those cables, because this will hold it firmly while I work on the phone. Okay, next you want to make sure that you know the model of your phone. To do that, you need to go to your settings, which is right here. When you click on settings, you want to go down to general, then click on general and go to about. Click on about and look down the list, and what you're looking for is model. And when you click on the word model, you'll see that it changes the text over here. That's your model number. Starts with an A if you're iOS. The model that I found for my daughter's phone was A1549, and I was able to easily find actually the complete repair kit, which you see here, that included everything I needed, including the adhesive strips. So to begin, you need to remove the two screws at the bottom of the phone. They take a specific screwdriver which comes in the kit, and once you have these two screws out, then you begin trying to pry the phone open. And we'll do that with the kit comes with a little suction cup. You insert that kind of in the middle of the phone, right above where the button is on the bottom, but not over that button. And when you pull this up, you can see a little gap at the bottom. You want to try to get your pry tool right above the headphone jack. You can see there's a little place where you can fit that plastic tool in. You want to be real careful here and gentle as you prying the bottom first. And then once you get the bottoms done, you can start working up the sides. You start at the lower part of the phone and work up towards the top of the phone. You just want to be real patient and deliberate here, taking your time and kind of working those clips loose. Again, starting on the bottom and then work towards the top. So you can see I got pretty good separation there on the right hand side of the phone. Here comes the left side, and then pretty soon it breaks loose. Again, when you open this up, you don't want to open it more than 90 degrees. And again, that's why I made this device. You see here I have a little bit of duct tape on there. That's to hold the phone in place once I get it on there. And then the top of the screen, once I remove this suction cup here, I can secure it to the top. I'm just going to use a rubber band just to kind of hold it in place, so I don't have to worry about those cables getting jostled around and possibly damaged. So with the phone secure, then I can start removing the shield or the cover on the battery cable connect. And this just has 2 screws. Now these screws on an iPhone 6 are different. They're different sizes, so you want to be careful. You place them on a pad in the right position so you know which one goes into the left side and which one goes into the right side. Once those screws are out, then you can remove that little plate and set it aside, and then use your spudger tool or pry bar to remove the battery clip. So you want to gently remove this clip so not to damage the receiving end of the clip. And with that out, and we can start working on removal of the battery. Now the first step when removing the battery is to make sure that you pull back the black tab that wraps up over the bottom of the battery. And when you get that out of the way, then there is an adhesive that you need to get a hold of and pull that out. Now in the videos when I was reviewing what to do, you want to pull kind of out at a 60-degree angle, and then once you get a length of it out, you can start pulling around the side of the battery. So you kind of pull it up the side. And in some cases, in some of the videos, this adhesive would break, and then if that happens, you need to basically heat up the battery with a hairdryer and kind of soften that so that you can pry the battery out. And you have to be very careful. They say pry where my right thumb is, in that lower part of the battery. If you get up in the top, there's cables that run for the volume, and you could damage some cables. So that one came out real easy. And with the second adhesive strip, same thing. You can just get it started, and then once you get it in hand, start pulling it out, and then pull it up alongside the battery, just like I did with the first one. And like I said, I was successful in getting both of these out cleanly without any issue. So I guess I was fortunate that way. So there's the battery. It's out. It's free. Here's the new battery. Okay, so I just need to get the battery out of the case here, and then once we have it out of the case, we can kind of dry fit it. And I would recommend that you dry fit it so that you ensure that you're going to get a good connection on the cable. And once you've done that and you ensure that you have the cable connected properly, you can kind of lay the battery back and get ready with the adhesive strips. Now this was a little awkward here. What I decided to do first is test the battery, make sure that it was working properly before I went ahead and mounted the adhesive strips, and I would suggest you do the same. So this appears to be fine. So then what you want to do is go ahead and shut down the phone again before you proceed work on it. So there we go, shutting it down. Open it back up, and I'll resecure the screen to the vertical portion of my iPhone tool, repair tool, and then I can go ahead and lay that battery back and get ready to put the adhesive strips down. So since I know that the cable is connected, working fine, there's about a 45% charge on that battery. I'm going to go ahead and reinsert the plate and the screws that hold the battery connection in, and then I'm just going to move the battery up and out of the way. Now In the next step, you're going to see I put the adhesive strips down inside in the chassis. What I would recommend you do is place the adhesive strips on the battery itself, because then it's easier to see where they should lie. I had a little bit of guesswork there. Fortunately, it worked out fine for me doing it this way, but I think it would have been a lot easier if I first placed them on the battery and then laid the battery back over in position. So at any rate, I did get the adhesive strips in there, and I had enough of the strips on the end to wrap it up and around the battery like it's supposed to be. So I go ahead and remove the plastic to reveal the adhesive. Pull these tabs out of the way here. Then I can lay the battery over into place. And it's just a matter of wrapping the adhesive up around the battery. And to do that, first you have to remove those plastic tabs to expose the adhesive. This one was a little tough to get to, so I had to use the screwdriver to kind of pull it out of the way, and then just finish off by wrapping those tabs around, so if the battery ever needs removed again, you'll be able to get a hold of those plastic adhesive tabs. And with that done, I can remove the rubber band that's holding the screen in place. And when you put the screen in place, you want to make sure there's tabs at the top, and you want to push kind of forward, making sure that those tabs are connected. And then once they're connected, work from the top down to the bottom, kind of walking down the phone, and you'll feel it kind of snap into place. When everything's snapped into place, I'm going to go ahead and remove it off of my holder, recheck, make sure everything is firmly snapped together, and then I can put those, I think they're called penelope screws, in the bottom, and then the phone will be securely shut. Okay, and then with those screws back in place, we can go ahead and fire it up, make sure everything's working properly. Okay, so that about wraps it up. That gives you a good idea how you can save some steps whenever you replace the battery in an iPhone 6. And I would recommend, though, you have something similar to what I made here in the video, so that you can be assured that you're not going to mess up those cables if you're not going to remove that screen. Okay, I'd like to just give a real quick shout out to iFixit.com. This is where I went to review the steps. There's 25 steps here. I did not follow all 25 steps using my iPhone holder. I skipped some of the steps where you actually move the screen. But they show you step by step how to go through and how to service the phone, specific guides for different types of iPhones. So if you have something different than iPhone 6, be aware that the procedure may vary from the procedure I'm showing you today. If you found this information helpful, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell. That will ensure that you get notices each time I publish new content. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.